Warning. This podcast may contain strong languages for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everyone, this is the B13 NerdCast of Randomness, the one podcast you can talk about everything and anything, and I am your host, Brandon Belanger, and tonight my guest is none other than my tattoo artist. One of the best tattoo artists, I think, in New Hampshire is none other than Eric Escobar. How you doing, brother?
Hello, doing good.
He's doing good, and he's tattooing me today. I figured, why not? Let's do it during the session.
Heck yeah.
And I think it was all your idea to do this.
Makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So we've known each other for how long now? About 10 years?
Right, close to a decade, yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I met you by, is name Ashley Levonville, ring a doorbell?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Adam Levonville, Adam and his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I totally forgot about that. I did a little elephant on her. Is that what you saw first?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And I think you did like the two birds on her shoulder blades as well?
Possibly. That was, 10 to 12 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw I think the elephant one, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty sick tattoo. Who'd you get it from? And she's
Did she work at Sabres, too?
Yeah, she worked at Sabres as well.
Nice, fuck yeah.
And she was like, yeah, my guy Eric Escobar did it. And I was like, oh, cool. Do you think you could set me up with an appointment? And first tattoo I got from you was 13.
Oh, on the hand, yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Yeah, and then didn't you say you put me on your phone for Brandon 13 for like the
Brandon,
longest
you're
time?
still in my phone as Brandon. Actually, no, I think it switched. But yeah, you're Brandon 13 forever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how long you been tattooing, bro?
Too long. At this point, I would say 13 or 14 years probably I started. I was 18 when I first started. And I just turned 32, so.
So how'd you get into the tattooing business? How did it all start?
Honestly, it all just kind of fell into place. I never really planned on it, and I didn't really know much about the industry. But it was back when I was 18, and I was living in an RV with a couple of my buddies, and we were driving around the country skateboarding, and we were out in California. And I was in the LA area, actually, at this college party, and somebody wanted to build some like jailhouse tattoo machine kind of ensemble.
Yeah.
And so we started gathering supplies for it, and then eventually some kid just gave me a full kit and told me that he bought it, used it once, never was going to use it again. So he let me use it that night, and I ended up doing like 7 tattoos. I had no idea what I was doing. I just learned everything off Google and YouTube, like a quick 20-30 minute session, how to set it up, and I've come a long way since then. But yeah, I pretty much taught myself everything.
Nice.
From the beginning.
And of course you're an artist, so I figured
I'm an artist before a tattoo artist.
Exactly.
And that's very important. A lot of tattooers aren't artists, which is it's pretty obvious once you look at their art. But there's people who do tattoos, there's people who do art. I'm definitely an artist first.
Yes. What intrigued you to become an artist exactly?
To become an artist or a tattooer?
We'll start with the artist first. Yeah, definitely.
I think my mom was a big influence for sure. She was very crafty when I was growing up, and she owned a craft store actually. And so before I was even in school, I remember like before kindergarten, I would just draw all day and hang out with her. And she was always working on different craft designs and stuff. So it definitely probably was pretty inspiring. But I've always been into art as long as I can remember. Since I was a little kid, I've always gotten art stuff for all my birthdays, Christmas, and shit like that. Just kind of.
Now, did you ever go to like college for art school or anything like that?
Nope, I never went to any school after high school. Honestly, I wanted to travel, and so I did. And then traveling brought up tattooing somehow. It just kind of fell into my lap, and I'm really glad I did. But yeah, I never wanted to do the school or anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of learned a lot better by just hands-on, really.
And I know you're I know you got a specialist in graffiti artwork, if I'm not mistaken.
I do a lot of graffiti as well. I didn't start doing graffiti until I was probably like in my mid-20s or so, but I love graffiti. It's awesome. And I do a lot of kind of mix up between like a script, like tattoo style, and graffiti. It's called calligraphy. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, big fan of that, and I definitely would like to do more graffiti pieces rather than just a few a year, you know?
Yeah.
I like to make it like a monthly thing.
Nice. And how'd that all get started exactly?
Just always really been into graffiti, and then one of my good homies, this kid Adam, he's a professional graffiti artist, and he had a store here in Nashville actually. It's called Streetwise, and he had a graffiti shop for 3 or 4 years or so, and I don't know, I became friends with him, and he kind of showed me all the little tips and tricks that he knows, and just kind of all started from there. But graffiti itself is pretty strict as far as like cans only, no stencils, no taping shit off, no anything like that. So then there's a big difference between wall murals and graffiti, and I first started with wall murals actually. So I used to do like mixed medium type stuff, and I just did that on my own. But once I got into actual graffiti where it's strictly can, yeah, it's definitely a lot more fun.
Nice. And you're originally from Kansas City, right?
Not Kansas City, but Kansas, yes. I'm from a small town called Auburn, Kansas. It's in the middle of Kansas, more off to like the northeastern side of Kansas. But yeah, I was born and raised there. I lived there until I was about 12, and then started moving around the country. I'm from Kansas, I went to Iowa, then I went from Iowa to Michigan, and Michigan to New Hampshire, and then I moved out to Cali for a while, then back to New Hampshire, and here I am.
And how long you been living in New Hampshire now?
On and off since I was 15, so 17 years now? 16, 17 years?
Damn.
It's crazy. Yeah, time flies.
So what made you go from Kansas to all these different states? Was it just work-wise with the parents, or what was the deal with that?
Yes, my stepdad worked in professional hockey, actually. His name was Jim Chestnut. He's one of the greatest artists I've ever met in my life, but he's an equipment manager for professional hockey teams, and my mother is actually a seamstress, and so she was working for the hockey team making all the jerseys. Like she puts all the numbers on and does all the vinyls and patches and everything like that, and then he was equipment manager, so they were in touch that way, and then and they liked each other, and then my mom kind of followed him when he switched teams, and so he got transferred to a team in Iowa. And so we all moved to Iowa and then lived there for a good year and a half. And then he got transferred to a team up in Michigan. So then we all moved to Michigan. And I lived there for less than a year. And then he got transferred to the Lowell Lock Monsters. And my mom moved us to Nashville. And here we are.
And I know we talked about it before we started recording the podcast. So I remember you were telling me you traveled for 4 months with PD, like all over the country?
Yep. Back when I was about 25, I bought an RV. And then I built a little tattoo studio in it. And then my plan was to drive back to all the places I lived and tattoo all my friends and all my family from those areas.
And get some exposure, I would assume?
Yeah, it was fun for sure. I also just wanted to escape the winter from New Hampshire because obviously it's pretty aggressive out here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was fun. I was on the road for about 4 months. Went through 17 states, put like 13,000 miles on the RV, and it was just me and Petey.
Nice.
That was sweet.
Now, when you started tattooing, I know you wanted to try to get a license and all that. How'd that all come about?
I didn't get my license for a good 10 years probably, or 8 to 10 years. I had a really hard time finding a solid apprenticeship because I had started tattooing on my own, and I taught myself enough to where I was tattooing almost daily, and I had a full clientele and everything, so an apprentice typically doesn't know how to tattoo, and so I went into these shops trying to start as an apprentice so I could work towards my license, but because I already was kind of further along, nobody kind of wanted to take me on, and I ended up having quite a few really bad apprenticeships at a couple of shops that I won't name, but
right.
I definitely kind of got used and abused by some really shitty artists, and they're not even artists, actually, they're just tattooers, but those people, they just kind of used me for all the free work and stuff, and then they never really helped me out with my license, and so I went a good 8 or 10 years before I actually got my license, and I was finally licensed under Tattoo America by Scott Jones. He's the man.
Nice.
Really good guy.
And then eventually you started your own tattoo shop called Wicked Ways.
Yeah, I started my own business about 4 or 5 years ago now. It's called Wicked Ways. It was Wicked Ways Inc., but now it's Wicked Ways LLC. It's a newer business that I started because I originally started the business with my ex-girlfriend, but once she moved out and kind of went back her own ways, then I started up my own side of everything, but it's going great.
And originally it was to not just do tattoos, but also sell artwork, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's an art collective, if you will. So it's definitely not like a tattoo business. It's more so an art business. And tattooing is like a sector of it, if you will. But yes, I wanted it to be kind of a little bit of everything because I do all different types of art. I like to build furniture and I like to do woodworking and I like to do all different types of mediums, honestly.
And definitely do a lot of construction work. I definitely have seen.
Yes,
for sure.
I like to build shit.
Now I know you're really into skateboarding. I know you've been doing that for a long time.
It's my life.
Didn't you build a mini ramp in your backyard, if I'm not mistaken?
There was a mini ramp here at this house for a really long time. It recently got taken out within the past year or two because just kind of structural issues. It started to mold and stuff in the subframe. So, yeah, there was a mini ramp here, but a lot of the other houses I've lived in across the country also, we had mini ramps in the backyard. Me and my brother were really into skateboarding growing up and still are, so just kind of stick to it.
Now, when did you start skateboarding?
Started skateboarding when I was like 11 years old, when I was really young, and I think my older brother George was probably the reason I started skating. He was really into it, so I think I used to like bike or rollerblade even, I don't know, when I was really young. And then he was skateboarding and I thought it was cool, so I started doing that and I still love it. It's my life pretty much. I love skateboarding more than almost anything else.
Nice. And I know you used to go to the original skate park near the Hudson Bridge.
Yeah, NP is the Nashua skate park over by the edge of Nashua. But yeah, they tore that out unfortunately to build some shitty condominiums and they built a new park, but it's definitely not the same. It's more like it's not the same.
Yeah, it's near a police station and it's near a high school, which is the best place to put it, right?
Yeah, across the street from a YMCA, so it's not very fun.
Do you often go there, or do you not?
I do not go there. No, I'm not a fan.
So, is there like any other skate parks you probably go to now since that the original one pretty much?
Honestly, in the past, ever since I started the business, skateboarding hasn't been as prevalent as it used to. I used to skate every single day, and now I don't have a lot of free time to just go skate, so if anywhere, I'd probably just go to Lowell or something, go to Hadley. They got a lot of new build stuff there from Dave Baczynski, which is pretty rad. But there's also a really shitty little skate park here in Nashua called Ghetto Park. Well, we call it Ghetto Park, but it's on Ash Street.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
The place is alright, but that place sucks too, for sure.
They definitely got like the little ramps there that I remember.
But my homie Nolan Monroe is actually opening an indoor skate park here pretty soon. I'm trying to get it on the ground floor of investing in that. But yeah, it should be over by Exit 6, actually pretty close to here. So I'm really looking forward to that, and that'll really help out when the weather hits, for sure, having an indoor spot.
So I got a question about the indoor spots, because again, I used to skateboard way back in the day when I was a kid. When it comes to like indoor parks, is that like something you can just go in for free, or do you have to pay?
No, you definitely kind of pay for it. You pay by the session. They typically have different sessions from like 3 to 6 or something like that, you know what I mean? And then you just pay for the session or whatever. But yeah, they're fun for sure. In the East Coast, it's definitely necessary, and we don't have an indoor spot around here anymore besides like Rye.
Yeah.
But it's a trek.
Now, when you do skateboard, do you prefer doing street skating or do you prefer doing vert skating?
I do skate a lot of transition. Like the old skate park was a lot of transition, but I love skating street as well. I like to jump down stuff. But like I said, in my more recent years, I haven't had as much time to skate, so I'm probably a little rusty at this point. But yeah, skateboarding was one of the most important things in my life, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, when it came to actually, did you ever skate at the? I don't know if you remember. They had a Hudson skate park.
Purple Park.
The Purple Park.
Yeah, that place was awesome. It was really shitty. It was all metal ramps and like prefab everything. It was an awful little skate park, but it was really fun to go to still. There was a couple little fun things there. But yeah, they shut that down because the police kept catching kids smoking cigarettes in there, which is just absurd. But yeah, Hudson is ridiculous.
Smoking cigarettes.
Cigarettes, yeah. Apparently, I don't know.
It's not like they're smoking weed or anything.
Exactly. Now it's a tennis court, I believe. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I drove by it a couple times. I think it's a tennis court.
It was a fun little spot. I wonder what they did with all those ramps.
They probably brought it into an indoor skate park, guaranteed, and probably changed the color of it.
I wonder.
That was actually one of the first skate parks I actually skated when I was a kid.
Purple Park, yeah, it's not much of a park. Once you've been out to the West Coast, they got some insane parks out there, but it's something, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I know when you worked in Milford, you definitely did some spray painting for, what is it, Oktoberfest? Or
I have a pumpkin fest. I've been a part of it for about 4 years now or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty cool. They do a really big little festival for the town. And a lot of people show up. We got 30, 40,000 people throughout the whole weekend show up, which is pretty cool. And so they, well, actually, I donated a giant mural for them each year, and I work on it throughout the whole weekend of the Pumpkin Fest, so that way people can watch and stuff. And it's really fun. Each year it just keeps getting better and better.
Nice. Now, because I know your business is not in Milford anymore, are you still gonna do Pumpkin Fest throughout the years? Do you think?
Yes, I'm still acclimated with Milford pretty well. I have a lot of good friends there, a lot of good clients. I'm pretty well acquainted with a lot of people from the town and everything in the city hall, and so I'll definitely be a part of Pumpkin Fest from here on out. And I actually created the logo too. I updated the logo and made a whole new logo for the festival.
Nice.
Which they put on all their merchandise like sweaters, t-shirts, and cups and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll definitely be going back to Milford and working on the Pumpkin Fest. It's not too far from here.
Nice, very nice.
I also have that giant graffiti wall in Milford. It's run by myself, like I manage it, and it's there's a huge like graffiti wall. It's about 200 feet wide by say 12 feet tall, and it's covered in some of the best graffiti in the area for sure.
Now it's kind of crazy like how popular you are. I don't think you really realize it. I'm sure you realize it. But I guarantee every time everyone checks out my tattoos, they're always like, "Oh, dude, that's so rad! Where'd you get it from?" I was like, "Oh, I got it from my tattoo artist, Eric Escobar. He's been tattooing me for 10 years." "Oh, Eric, I know him." "Oh, do you?" Yeah. And they talk about like, "Oh, yeah, I knew him. We did this and that." And then I sometimes ask you, "Hey, do you know this person?" You'd be like, "No, I don't."
Yeah, over the years, like I said, I've been tattooing for about 14 years now, something like that, and so I've tattooed a lot of people. And the web of how people connect is really interesting because I'll tattoo someone's like aunt or cousin or something and they're related to someone else in a different way, and it's pretty cool how it all kind of just builds and builds, you know what I mean? But every tattoo I do, more people see it and then it just kind of extends, so it just never really ends, honestly. It's really hard to remember everybody's names. I got tattoos all over the place nowadays. They're all around town, all around the city.
It's pretty dope, man. Yeah, it's crazy how far you came, definitely, when I first met you when you started tattooing.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That's for sure.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think you were like 3 years in when you first started tattooing. Oh, when you first started tattooing me, I believe.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, I think the first tattoo that I saw besides Ashley's, I think you did a flash tattoo on somebody.
Flash?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe I may have. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've done thousands of tattoos, so
yeah,
I have no idea. If I see the tattoo, I'll usually remember it, but there's been times I've seen the tattoos that I've done, and then I'm like, who did that for you? And they're like, are you serious? They're like, oh, shit. But, yeah, it's been an interesting ride, that's for sure.
Now, what's your favorite kind of tattoo or style that you like to do?
I like to do sacred geometry, like dot work and pointillism, and really detailed kind of intricate geometric work. And then I also really like to do heavy black and grays that are mostly like black and gray skulls and realism and stuff like that. Yeah, I like to do like creepy shit, kind of horror tattoos and stuff are a big fan of, but mostly just black and gray.
And mandalas.
Mandalas, yeah, I do a lot of mandalas, yeah, for sure. That kind of goes along with that sacred geometry steez, but yeah, I do a lot of mandalas for sure. I specialize in just hyper detail, I suppose.
I remember you did that Halloween mandala, and it took like 3 sessions because of how much detail was in it.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, tattooing is definitely very time consuming.
Now, what's the biggest piece you've done? I remember you told me you did a back piece on somebody, if I'm not mistaken.
I've definitely done a lot of big pieces, but it's hard to say like what a full piece is, because if somebody has a full sleeve, that would technically be a piece, you know what I mean?
Right.
So then, I'm not sure. I've definitely done quite a few sleeves and stuff. I've yet to do like a huge full back piece, but I've definitely done kind of like partial back pieces or whatever. But yeah, no, I've definitely done a lot nowadays, so
nice.
Kind of adds up over the years. But people like you, for instance, I've been tattooing you for 10 years, so the more that we kind of build up, it kind of all blends together eventually, you know?
Hell yeah. And I always sit like a champ.
Heck yeah.
Can't take that away from me, people.
Yeah, it's nice to have a mellow client, that's for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Love
make this podcast a little bit short, just so you can focus on the tattoo. Well, Eric, I want to say thank you for being on this podcast, brother.
No doubt, dude. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, thank you for checking out the podcast with Eric Escobar. That was a very fun episode. Again, in case you guys want to check out Eric Escobar's work, check it out on Instagram. It is I am Eric Escobar. Guy's a real artist. It's not just about tattooing. He's one tremendous artist, and that's why I love going to him, and that's why he's been tattooing me for 10 years, and he's got all this artwork on my body. So definitely check him out, and if you guys want to try to get an appointment, well, I'm going to let you know you got to book really far in advance because he is overbooked for the next 4 to 5 months. So if you want to check him out, just hit him up on Facebook. But other than that, make sure to check out me as well. Go on Facebook.com of the B13 NerdCast of Randomness. Make sure to follow me on the Facebook page, and also check me out on Instagram, which is B13 Nerd. That is right, B13 Nerd. And if you guys want to go on YouTube to get a better quality, make sure to go on YouTube. Make sure it's www.youtube.com/B13 NerdCast of Randomness. And I want to say, guys, thank you for watching this episode of the podcast, and make sure to subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff like I just said, and always get tattooed. Getting tattooed is awesome, okay? It's cool. It's edgy. All right? No, if you don't want to get tattooed, you don't need to get tattooed at all. But the one thing I will say is it's time to let the dogs out. Peace out.